Hey guys, I just wanted to do this little video right quick before I clocked into work because I feel like it's important. The Drunk Turkey Show, the place where the WSU mom Kim first spoke about her timeline and what her daughter knows about what happened on the morning of November 13th. In the latest video, the host of the show shows the conversation that he had with Olivia prior to Olivia getting Kim's information and doing the interview. And the way that it seems is that Steve very much wanted this to happen. And I'm only bringing this up because I know Olivia got a whole bunch of hate when she uploaded that video. And like I said in my last one, I completely get it. I got a lot of hate too. I had people in the comments running their mouth to me. I had a couple of emails from people that need to get better hobbies. Okay, so I get it. I get it. But whenever you find out that Olivia spoke to Steve and Steve wanted to know Kim's information so that he could go and ask Jack and Adam about the people in Kim's story, and then to know that now that interview has to be taken down and this is something that Kaylee's family really wanted the information for, it kind of makes anyone who's really here for justice and not drama pretty sad. Because like I said, he's not a yes man. He's not just going to take the police narrative and allow that to be what's being ran with whenever he feels in his gut that there's something missing. And we've seen Steve fight hard for truth in this case. We've seen it. So he wanted this interview. Olivia didn't stab the family in the back like everyone's trying to say. I don't even know how many comments on both of my last videos about how Olivia was personally invited up there and she stabbed them in the back like this. Oh my God, no. No, bro. Steve was spoken to. Olivia had Steve's permission. Steve wanted to know what Kim had to say. She didn't do any of this without the consent of the family, which is pretty much what I thought. I didn't see, okay? I know the company she keeps probably wouldn't care, honestly. I didn't see Olivia being this personally connected to this case and then doing something that could jeopardize her connection to the family. I just didn't. So whenever the interview came out, I was like, Steve had to have known. They had to have known about this. And I was right. I was right. And not only was that information shared in the Drunk Turkey Show yesterday, but also Kim's phone records, guys. Because people are doubting her. And I understand why people want to doubt people. But you can't think that every person that comes forward on social media or out to a platform that is going to get their voice heard is shady or lying. I understand the concept, okay? And I have gone off on people that could have been telling the truth. Honestly, we could have been. But this is how the truth gets found out. We know what law enforcement does. And several people have used the term in the comments, tunnel vision. They find a target that seems like it makes sense and they just run with it. And anything else that gets reported, any tips that come in that will make that narrative change and have to have them put more work into trying to figure it out, they ignore it. They ignore it. Look at the Lacey Peterson case. 12 different people saw Lacey walking in her normal pattern all well after Scott had left the house that morning, and none of those people were on the witness stand. All of their reports were purposely left out because it didn't fit the narrative that the husband did it. And that's actually a case that we're going to talk about later. I have a video that I'm currently in the middle of making, and it's not finished. It's going to get finished soon, but it's going to be a long one, and it's going to be detailed because damn. So we've seen what law enforcement does. And it's not like Lacey Peterson's case was the first or the last that this has been blatantly proven to the public, okay? So, again, grain of salt. Extra huge, heavy, overweighted grain of salt. But not everyone is going to have an ulterior motive. Not everyone is going to be a bad guy. Some people really do just want justice. And if they hear the narrative is not what they were told and they have inside information that can prove that, by all means, come forward and let's get these babies justice. This makes no sense. 4 people, 4 kids in one house, one night, and this is the drama, this is the crazy. Can we just get to the truth? I think that we all just want to get to the truth, right? And it sure seems like Steve is not just going to sit back and keep allowing the cops to just do their own research. He still wants to figure this out and see if there's anything missing. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? But something else that came out in this episode of The Drunk Turkey is Kim's phone records, guys. There's proof on her actual phone bill that she not only called Moscow PD several times and the FBI several times, but these are not like 5-minute phone calls. Like, they're 33 minutes. Some of them are well over an hour. The FBI is not going to sit there and let some crazy woman yak their ear off for over an hour if what she's saying doesn't seem valid to them. I just want y'all to think about that too. There's a lot of hate and a lot of controversy when it comes to these cases and the kind of stuff that we do here that's not necessary. Like, people's anger really needs to be aimed at who took these lives. I understand that there's plenty of people out there that are doing this kind of thing completely incorrectly and immorally and deserve to have their platforms yanked from underneath them and their names completely forgotten from the public. I get it. That's not everyone, guys. It's not. To touch on what's going on with XANA'S mom real quick, okay? So most of y'all know that the public defender, the free lawyer that Bryan Kohberger has right now, used to represent XANA'S mom. I believe there's been like 4 separate occasions where this person has been XANA'S mom's lawyer. Now, according to the interview on News Nation that she did last night, not only do we know for a fact that for some weeks now, this public defender has been assigned to Bryan Kohberger, but apparently the fact that she was no longer going to be representing XANA'S mom, none of that was even ran by XANA'S mom. She never signed anything to release her. She has a signed power of attorney that has not been executed, has not been terminated as far as XANA'S mom knows. This was done in order for her ex-lawyer, now Bryan's lawyer, to help her get into rehab so that she could have somebody responsible for her. Most of you guys know how powers of attorneys work. So I know that her mother is on the run because of these charges. Everyone is aware of the ridiculous little details in this case, right? But if the media can get a hold of her, if her friends and family can get a hold of her, if strangers on the internet can get a hold of her, there's no reason for the Idaho public defenders people to have not gotten a hold of her somehow in order to remedy this situation. Because they've basically left her with like no attorney. And they haven't come out and stated, no, she's been reassigned to so-and-so. Nothing. They just took her defense from her and gave her lawyer to the man who's being suspected of murdering her daughter. It's one thing to have your public defender reassigned to somebody else, either by the court's recognizance or your own. But to have that same attorney ripped away from you, who you've trusted for years, who's been on your side forever, to now be defending the person who took your child from you? That is like multiple traumatic brain events in one time. Okay, that's horrible. Think about that. Think about that literally. Think about that. And then her mom brings up a good fact too, that she's never heard the name Bryan Kohberger. She doesn't even believe XANA possibly could have known him because he was so much older. But she makes a really good point, and I'm really kind of aggravated that I didn't think about this before. We've known for a while that XANA's sister Jasmine goes to WSU. So after November 29th, when they knew their suspect at the time was a WSU PhD student and a teacher's assistant that was at the college where one of the victim's sisters went to, and they never warned the family, hey, you might want to keep Jasmine home from school. Okay, because if they're coming out and trying to claim that this is some sort of targeted event, wouldn't you think that they would want to protect one of the victim's sisters if they're claiming this was a targeted event? And they just didn't say nothing. They just allowed her to go to school where the suspect was, who murdered her sister every single day. That is so rude, y'all. I just feel so bad for every single one of these families. And we're not really hearing from a lot of them anymore, which I understand because of all the gag orders and stuff like that. But I'm glad that we heard from XANA'S mom. And I feel bad for her. I know that they've obviously got a hard life, her parents, right? But dang, man, to have all this happen in the middle of having all of this happen, it's just so sad. But that's it. That's it. I just wanted to give y'all those little tidbits because I felt like they were important. See y'all.